that backup noise though. All right, instantly shifts to park as soon as I turn off the car. How's it going, everyone? Hopefully you're doing fantastic. In today's video, we are checking out the all-new FIAT 500e. Now, these have an MSRP price of $32,000, and this is their base model, which they're calling it their red trim. Then you also have the Inspired by Beauty trim and Inspired by Music, which features iconic colors like solid black and rose gold. But for the base model, you have the choice between three color choices: red, black, and white. Obviously, we have red here. And after driving this thing for 1 week, you need a lot of passion to really love this car. It's not really a practical car for highway driving. City commutes, yes, but you'll find out more what I mean once we test drive it. So for an electric car, it does have access to a hood latch, which is not like BMWs or Mercedes, where they're really like, they just don't like their owners to go in and under the hood and see what's underneath. This one actually does allow you to, and it's an electric car. This is probably the power inverter, but you do have a 12-volt battery that you need to replace ever so often like a normal car. But the main battery itself, the specs, it's basically a 42 kilowatt battery, which gives this little engine about 118 horsepower and 147 pound-feet of torque, tied with a single speed transmission. Since this is a electric vehicle, it doesn't need to have a gearbox. There's many different gear ratios. I just noticed a little fun little Easter egg right here. The turn signal actually has a little Italian flag right there. Pretty cute, I gotta say. But with all this lets this vehicle get a 0-60 time of 8.5 seconds. But then it's also advertised to be able to get 140 miles of range. But realistically, I'm seeing like around 120-ish miles under a single charge. And yes, the little portion of the headlights was actually integrated on the hood. Not sure if you saw that. So the air vents did go off to cool down the battery, which is nice. Like 100 degrees outside right now. But its design elements, this is definitely a passionate car. Somebody who just wants this car just because it's cute type of thing. Because yes, it's really compact and small. It's cute, but it doesn't really offer that much good ground clearance. But the headlights are LED headlights, and they're really bright. I'm actually quite surprised how bright these headlights get while driving at night. And the design is still really unique to this car. It's super cute and compact, what can I say? And it even features some very good looking rims as well. Probably one of the best looking rims on a economy focused electric cars. Now these are Pirellis, tied with 17-inch wheels. They're 205s, and the rear, they are 205s as well, so you can rotate these tires. The door handle is nice and flush. They're electric, so you do have to press a button to open them. But if you're concerned about having a dead battery, you do have a manual release lever right here, but it's all controlled with an actual button, which actually uses the same button from a Maserati, from my understanding, which is quite interesting. Because this is where FIAT 500s are indeed produced, in the same factory where Maserati has their car being made, from my understanding. So definitely interesting, cute little vehicle. And in terms of charging ports, its charge port, it does support DC fast charging, and this can actually take 81 watts for fast charging, which Fiat's telling me if you fast charge it from 0 to 80, it'll take about 35 minutes. Now, closing the port, you will continue to see more Fiat logos scattered throughout the car. And then since this is electric, it's only electric in the United States now, the Fiat E, it has this blue outer ring, just letting us know that it is indeed an electric car. And the Fiat emblem back here is now painted with color match with the body of the car. But back here, not much has really changed. Your rear reverse light looks like it's located back here. And then if you look at this portion of the tail light, there's a nice little Easter egg right here, which again is pretty cool to the car. And on the other side of the tail light has a little tower right there. I'll put the title name of the building that's representing in that image in the video. But opening up this small hatch, it looks to be manual. Yeah, it's not an automatic lift. I mean, it did lift off automatically, but it's not those automated ones. It's actually supported by shocks, 2 shocks to be exact. But you do have like a nice little pulley here. No buttons to self-close because this is manually have to close this, unfortunately. And I love how they actually include a little privacy cover. That's pretty funny. Let's see if we get a spare though. We do not, but they do provide the charge port to charge at home, as well as an inflation kit right there. But it looks like there is a little bit of room to replace that foam with an actual spare tire if you'd like to do that later on down the line. And then you can fold down these seats. There's little buttons right here, but it's not going to provide that much space, and it's not flat all the way, unfortunately. But I feel like I could get like a little apartment microwave in here, or two of them, but that's about it. That's how much storage space you have back here. It's so crazy that I could grab these from the back of the car. Tailgate's super light though. I was able to pull that down quickly. But you do have a little tiny windshield wiper right here for your rear blade tailgate. More 500s, and yeah, that's the interior. Before we go inside the car, I do want to check out the bottom. I'm curious if it has a bunch of aero plates. It's completely open from the back, exposing the battery. I don't know if the camera can see that, but the battery isn't yet exposed. And it's front-wheel drive only. So that's something I'm not sure if I mentioned in the beginning of the video. These only come available in front-wheel drive. But in the back here is pretty flat. Some exposed parts right there from the right and left side, right behind the control arm. So it's not fully sealed for like best aerodynamic. I guess they had to save some money somewhere. But if ground clearance is your concern, because it's my concern too when shopping around for a car, real life, the ground clearance that the front can give you is not tall enough to clear like a cement block. As it looks like it's just about 5 inches of ground clearance if you include the little wind diffuser up there. But if you include the actual bumper trim, about 7 inches of ground clearance. So just barely enough to go over a park cement block, but it's gonna hit the plastic part right there, because cement blocks are averaging around 6 inches. So no, you cannot park underneath those without scraping, but the car is so small you really don't have to pull all the way forward for when you're parking in like a mall or something like that. Then when it comes to the Fiat key, it looks like this. It's a very standard lock, unlock, double tap to pop the hatch open, but it doesn't open up automatically. You have to manually move it up or close it, unfortunately. And you have your panic button to help locate the car in case you misplace it. And in the back, it's just a hard plastic Fiat. It just says 500. But real quick, let me give a shout out real quick to our subscriber, because she actually made us this keychain plate of the press car we have today. Now this is from a subscriber, and she launched a Etsy shop, and she keeps sending me these, so I'm gonna keep promoting her Etsy store. But in the front, it's a hand-drawn image of the front end of the car to match the key fob. And on the back here, you can either put your custom plate or your social media handles. So right now I have my Instagram and my YouTube channel. So if you have a personalized car and you like to have a front end custom keychain, definitely do check out her Etsy store. As all you need to do is to submit a photo. She'll hand trace this and draw this out, and then laser engrave it on this metal keychain of your car. It's really cool. I'll link her store in the description down below. Now let's go ahead and get inside the car. So getting inside, you just push here and it opens up like so. There's a little button right here to lock or unlock the vehicle too if you need to manually override it. And then on the back, you do have a little handle you pull, and this brings it forward a bit. I am gonna try to sit back here. Hopefully it's not a mistake. Feels like a mistake. These headrests go up, and then pull this to my driving seating position. How come I can fit it back here? I actually can't fit back here. I left the seat at the standard driving position I typically will have my seat at. And I don't know how I have leg room, but I have leg room. Now I will start to feel cramp after like an hour sitting back here, I'm pretty sure. But to my surprise, I can actually fit back here. How is that even possible? There's a speaker right here. Nothing really out of the ordinary back here. There's no like center armrest. There is one cup holder, which is quite funny. And there's like no USB charge ports back here. Not at all. You do have shadow anchors for your baby seat back here, if you could do that. But I somehow fit, but I don't have any air vents or any place to like charge my phone, unfortunately. Let's go back to the driver's seat now. Can I reach that button? Yes, I can. All right, here we are. See, I'm already having second thoughts of what I said earlier. No, I just adjust the seat back to its upright position, and this is where it left me on legroom. So no, I would not be able to sit back there. I was kind of shocked for a second, but no, after doing that with the seat, it looked like it stayed to the lowest front end setting. Doesn't look like I'll fit back there. I do not recommend. But let me turn on the car because it's like 100 degrees outside. Since it's electric, of course, I can have the garage door closed. Let me roll up all the windows. Sorry if you hear the AC on blast, but I am melting right now. So here's the front end of the vehicle, front driver point of view. Your mirrors do not have blind spot monitoring, unfortunately, but it does have lane keep assist. And the steering wheel itself does feature adaptive cruise control, but if you want the level 2 autopilot system that Fiat offers, Fiat does have that. It's a part of the music and the Inspired trim pieces if you like to get the level 2 driving package. But adaptive cruise control is more enough in my opinion. And this steering wheel is a flat bottom, which is quite nice. It's very thin, easy to grip. It's manual adjusted, unfortunately, and you'll find your like brightness settings, your fog lamp settings located right here on the side, your traction control, and your mirrors, window controls located right here. Another cool little Easter egg is located inside there. There's an old school design of the very first generation Fiat 500. And that was just the vehicle telling us that the car is on right now after I opened the door. So this is using the Uconnect system, and this is a 10.2 inch display. And in the front here, this is your instrument cluster, has a circular design. I actually like the UI on this thing. It's so basic and easy to read comparing it against other vehicles. Let me turn on the car real quick and get that out of the way so I can turn on the AC. It does a weird jingle as you heard earlier. But in terms of everything else, the design is very straightforward and I like it. I kind of like the simple design. It almost looks like something from Android or iOS. It's pretty clean. And then over here, it's pretty easy to operate the Uconnect 5 as well. As you have your home, your media, comfort. So you do have climate control right here, as well as manual controls located here. Your navigation, it does feature wireless CarPlay as well as Android Auto. And vehicle will be your overall like energy flow, your control. You can select right here, or vehicle settings, which doesn't really offer a whole lot. Not any of these that like stand out for me to actually share for you. It's very straightforward and standard. But in the flow, you can see your driving history and like your EV range, your efficiency. You can schedule your charge if you want to charge it during off-peak hours. Your charging levels, you can monitor it right here. That's the like type of rate you like to charge it. And then if you swing down, this will be where you could customize the up portion of your display. You'll find shortcuts for other things, and this does feature Alexa. But if you like to change this to like the temperature outside, as an example, I can believe it's 140. You can simply just click and drag it. I guess you can't change that one, but you could change it above here. So these three, you could swap it. I'm not sure what I could do with the Alexa though. Let me see if I can swap those notifications. So long hold, click and drop it. No, notifications just moved here. Or maybe it's due to the fact that there's already something there. Let me try it with device manager. Okay, so you could have a total of 5 up here. I think it wasn't working earlier because I had a duplication of the temperature. So all 5 on these top row can be customizable. Then if we tap home, we get out of here. This does feature a vehicle hotspot. So if you like to use the vehicle hotspot, you totally can. And then in apps, you can bookmark your favorite, your most used apps, or you can see different categories. So in all, this will show us all the apps that we have. So vehicle services, Alexa, Assist, CarPlay, driver profile. You can create driver profiles. EV coaching to teach you how to drive more efficiently. You could do that. Electric vehicle, which will show you basically your vehicle EV stats, as I was showing you earlier. And USB. That's basically it. It does feature weather as well. But in terms of the Uconnect 5, it's really straightforward and easy. Unfortunately, there's no hidden features here. But these windows you see here on the home page can be customizable. Because if we go all the way to the final page, you could tap Add Page and select between these different layouts. So if you want a 3-column one, you can. And then just continue adding widgets that you care about. So energy flow, our climate control, and our now playing. So you could do stuff like that. It's really straightforward, not really much explaining here. And of course you could delete it or reorder it. But in terms of everything else, everything is really straightforward. Again, you do have a little cubby right here. You only have a USB-A port, unfortunately no USB-C. Wireless charger is located here for your phone. Also, there's another cool little Easter egg right here in the wireless charging pad. Hopefully the camera can pick that up. Just an empty tunnel right here for like big purse items, bags. This does open up for your cup holder. And then you could technically use this other one as a cup holder, but there's only one real cup holder in this vehicle, and the other one is back there. And then the center armrest is adjustable, and it does open up to unveil just a little storage compartment, and that's basically it. Some Fiat models, from my understanding, do features like some type of cover. This one doesn't. This one's always open. But you do find a USB-A port right here. And this is where you'll find the only USB-C port in this car, as well as your 12-volt outlet. Your volume adjuster is located here, and if this head unit ever acts funny, of course, you could just long hold for like 5 to 30 seconds. And eventually it'll reboot the head unit while your speedometer gauge is still going up. So if CarPlay is ever acting funny, you can always manually reset it. And then right here is where you'll find your hazards and your capability to lock or unlock your car. It's in the center part, just like a Jeep or a Bronco. Then back to here, you'll also find your parking brake, as well as your different modes. And you only have a couple of modes to choose from, because if I toggle them, you got Sherpa, which will turn off the AC vents and will limit this vehicle up to 50 miles per hour to preserve as much range as possible. It's not sport mode, unfortunately. Or range, which will allow you to utilize the AC still, but driving in a less throttle responsive mode. And then you have the normal mode, which is all the way on top, which is just how the car drives. Then for the red, your mirror is manual, so it doesn't automatically dim down. You have to manually do that if you find it to be a little bit too bright in the back. Now, as for app connectivity, there is a Fiat app that this vehicle can be paired to, which will give you access to climate control settings, locating the vehicle, unlocking or locking the car, and monitor your charge rate. So if you're like in a public charger station, you can monitor your vehicle from the app. But the seat adjustments, they're manual, so you have to manually pull to adjust your seat. This part is not adjustable, unfortunately, and the driver's side does not, but the passenger does get a mirror, no LED light, unfortunately, and your toggle light switch is located here alongside your microphone and speaker and the SOS, as well as your roadside system button right here. Now, no paddle shifters, but you do have media controls located in the back of the steering wheel, so you could do this to adjust the audio up and down, and then the other one will be your skip track or go back to a previously listened track. And that's basically it in terms of this vehicle. This dash does match the red trim. It even says red right here with the trim piece. And another little cool little Easter egg is where it says Fiat all over the back and the bottom portion of the seat. And that's it. Let's go for a drive. Driving the Fiat 500e. It's kind of hard to believe that the 500e is the only Fiat available in the market now, as all the other ones are now being discontinued. I believe there still is a four-door option, but it's just a 500e now for this class, which is kind of interesting. But one thing for sure I want to quickly highlight is that this is currently, I believe, the lightest electric car you could buy, because this weighs just a shy under 3,000 pounds, which is quite impressive. The Hummer EV, its battery pack is much heavier than this. So because of that, it handles like a golf cart. Not as responsive like a go-kart, but I'll say it's like a golf cart. But even though it's light, it does take a while to accelerate on the freeway. So we're about to go on the highway right now. I'm dropping down to low 20s and accelerate. That's foot all the way down to the pedal. It's not really moving. Still not even at 60. Now we're at 60. So yeah, 0 to 60 in around 8 seconds seems to be right, which is not really ideal, but perfect for city driving, I guess, so long as you're around 40 miles per hour. But highway, this car is not really a passer. I'm trying to pass. I'm just now at 70. Yeah, no, this is definitely not a car you want to take on long road trips, especially if you're trying to save money on gas and to commute to work if you have to take the highway all the time. The 500e is good for quick commutes around town, but I don't recommend driving this in the city. I mean, in the highway or along road trips. This is not really that practical. Yes, it does accept DC fast charging, but at around 80 kilowatts to charge, it's not really practical. Even though this is, again, a small battery. It is a 45 kilowatt battery, which is really small in today's standard. My BMW X5 plug-in hybrid that I own has about the same size battery capacity. And that car in full EV mode is able to get 50 miles. This can get 120 realistically. I know they're advertising it to reach 140. I've been seeing 120 in my real world numbers. And that's me actually enjoying the car, by the way, driving it joyfully, which most people will find out. That's the proper way to drive this car. Now, it does offer Sherpa mode, which will basically cap this car at 50 miles per hour. Really good for like city driving, I guess, in the streets of Italy. But for here, I don't see that mode being very like usable in the real world here in the United States, that is. So Sherpa mode is not really for me, but it's definitely interesting. Then as for the sound system is not the greatest. I would compare this against a base model Honda Civic from 2010. That's how I'll describe the sound system. It's not really the greatest. You can upgrade the sound system if you select the Inspire option or the musical, but I highly recommend listening to the sound before you purchase this car. If I were to be perfectly honest with you, it definitely needs an aftermarket sound system if this will be your daily driver. And that is everything you need to know about the 2024 Fiat 500e. It's definitely a gorgeous car, super small. I feel comfortable. Freaking dragonfly in here. But yeah, I feel comfortable driving this thing in a very crowded city like San Francisco, New York, etc. So if you live in those type of environments, the 500e is here, it's available. Just, I'm not too sure about that price tag. I'm pretty sure, honestly, this will depreciate like crazy. 32,000 in my opinion is a little bit steep for this car, but in the used side market, once depreciation already took over, I think this will be a fair value vehicle. But then again, you have other great alternatives like something more a little bit bigger but more practical for its range, like the Chevy Bolt or a used Model 3, which I have actually reviewed over there. So if you like to see how the Chevy Bolt does, as that's another great vehicle I recommend checking out. It's more practical, costs about the same. So definitely do check out that video review right over there. Thank you so much for watching.